Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm here with Director of the Red Cross, Ms. Helen Frett, and neurologist, Dr. Charles McWilliams. Welcome to Spotlight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Good to be here.
Yes, good to have you. A lot happening this weekend. We have the Red Cross celebrating 60 years of
60
service
years. In the
time-
BVI.
In the BVI. Time flies, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what the big plans are? We're gonna have cake and champagne.
Well, we have a few activities planned for the year. We start off with the men's health fair. You know, formerly we had the prostate cancer screening. Well, we have now enlarged it to a men's health fair. So we will be having lots of other activities besides prostate cancer screening this Friday 22nd and Saturday 23rd here in Tortola, and on Saturday 30th on Virgin Gorda. And you'll hear more about that. But our next activity after that is on February 12th. We'll be having a reception at the Government House. It's going to be a beautiful evening, a romantic Valentine evening. It's also a fundraiser. And
Dancing
um,
or just cocktails?
cocktails and
'Cause the
beautiful
government-
music,
government
romantic
house-
music.
Okay, so Government House is famous for dancing.
Yeah, well, there'll
We
be
have
that
big
this
parties
month
at
end.
Government House, yeah.
And also we'll have some entertainers, live entertainment. And then in May, we celebrate Red Cross Week. Around May 8th, the birthday of Henry Donat, the founder of the Red Cross.
So this is a year of celebration or
Yes,
just a
we're
few
gonna,
months?
yeah, we're going to just spread it out throughout the year.
Throughout the year. That's great. And so now you have the Men's Health Fair that's coming up this weekend, Friday and Saturday. And this used to be the prostate cancer screening for men.
Yes.
That's right.
And we will still have the screening.
Well, you're gonna have a lot more in the screening.
lot more.
So what was the motivation? You feel that men are not taking care of themselves, and they need to have a place to go where you could really grab them and poke them.
Well, basically, we've been doing the prostate screening for many years, and when we evaluated it last year, we felt that we needed to expand it because many persons now are they're testing positive. They're not testing as positive as in years gone by because now they're being screened and caught early, and so we're not seeing as many positives now. And so we thought, that we should expand it so that we can capture some of the other conditions that men are prone to, such as the high blood pressures and the diabetes and other silent killers. And so we thought, we should screen them for some of these other diseases.
So what are some of the tests that's going to be going on? Are you going to have HIV testing?
Yes,
Okay.
glucose checks, cholesterol, for hypertension as well. And they'll be getting nutrition education, exercise demonstrations, and other persons will be there talking about pharmaceuticals, the use of drugs, as well as over-the-counter drugs, as well as prescription drugs. And we will have persons there to talk about other health issues as well. We will have somebody there checking their BMIs, their body mass index, and doing their weight and height along with that as part of that test. And there will be persons displaying health products.
Oh, is going to be any food?
Yes. Yes, we provide refreshments.
And this is this Friday, the 22nd of January, and Saturday, the 23rd. And it starts when?
At
6 in the morning.
Okay.
6 to 3.
You have to get up early, huh?
Yes.
6 in the morning.
Well, it runs till 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But we wanted to accommodate men who want to go to work so they can come in early, get their screening done, and go on to work.
Also, because the cholesterol and the glucose checks have to be done fasting, it's better if they come early before they have their breakfast.
Okay, I think we need to say that again because I don't know how many of us know that eating before taking those tests have a negative effect on the test. So when they come at 6 o'clock in the morning, they should not have eaten anything.
Right. They shouldn't eat from about 10 in the evening because they need to be fasting for at least 12 hours. So they can drink a little bit of water if they want, but nothing else.
And this is for the glucose testing
And the
specifically,
cholesterol.
and the cholesterol. Okay, so don't eat from 10 to, if you plan to come on whatever day, Friday or Saturday, to get your cholesterol check or your blood sugar check, don't eat, say, from 9, 10 o'clock in the evening until after you have the test.
test. That's right. And we'd like to encourage the younger men to come out as well, from 25 years and up, because all these other checks can be done. The men from 40 years and over will have their PSA as part of the prostate screening, but the younger men can have the other tests.
Okay, that's cool. And this is going to be at the Red Cross.
Yes, the headquarters, yeah.
Okay.
At
You're gonna be in
John's
the
Hope.
I know during the mornings, particularly on Saturday, you have an overwhelming crowd. Is that going to be enough space to hold everybody that's going to come?
I think so.
You have had you've managed in the past.
Yeah, we've managed in the past. We put up some tents in the back, and they stay out there under the tents until they come in to do their tests.
So we've done 800 men on those 2 days in the past.
And that has continued to increase over the last. How long have you been doing this now?
About 20 years now, and I've been doing it 15.
Since 1998.
Right. Dr. Bob Yakeley started the process. Did you know Dr. Yakeley?
Yes. He came on the radio program with me. I think he came on a television program once
Did he?
as well. But every year he would come and he would do the radio program.
Right.
That was before I was on television.
And we saw a flyer on the beach in about 1996, and we called him, and he recruited us, and immediately we were embraced and taken in, and we've been working with the BBI Red Cross ever since.
So the Virgin Gorda is the
30th.
the 30th of January.
January.
And there's something else happening in Virgin Gorda in February as well.
With the Red Cross?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so it's just the 30th of January.
Yes.
That would be the following week.
Yes.
Okay.
From 8:30 at the Catholic Community Center.
Okay. Because you have on your poster the 30th of February.
Oh, you got the wrong poster.
Oh.
That was corrected.
Okay. I'm just making sure that that information doesn't continue. Okay. Now, Dr. McWilliams,
Yes, sir.
neurologist, you are responsible for the prostate cancer test and so on, and of course you know the challenges that men have with that test by the nature of the test.
Right.
Has that lost its stigma? Are we more comfortable now with having that test?
I think men are much more comfortable. The men of the island have gradually embraced the idea of being checked. The blood test doesn't even have to be done every year now, and that's important for people to know, that the blood test is something that should be done, but not every year if it's particularly low. In younger men, may not even have to be examined, but it takes a blood test and a 1-second exam in order to make a good analysis of the situation. So we'll be not examining some men in the younger age groups. Certainly anyone under 40 is not recommended to have the exam or the blood test. Those who might be special cases would be those men who have a relative who's had prostate cancer, because with one relative with prostate cancer, the chances of you having it go up significantly. And instead of being 1 out of 7 getting prostate cancer, you'd fall into a category of 1 out of 3. So men who have relatives with prostate cancer certainly need to be screened every year, and we would start that at the age of 40. If they have not had a relative and they're just an average man, then we would recommend they have a baseline at age 40, and then a follow-up at 45, and then an annual exam once a year at 50 to 70 years of age.
Okay. So you don't need to have that done before 40. You don't need to have it done
Correct.
at all.
We will not offer it to men under 40 unless it's a special
and after
circumstance.
that is once, and then 5 years later, like every 5 years, until you get to
50.
To 50.
Right.
Okay. Now, you said the test is a simple test. It takes 1 minute.
1 second.
1 second.
Yes, that's the feeling of the prostate, because cancers create a hard feeling in the prostate. And so we'll have 3 physicians there, Dr. Smiley, Dr. Franklin, and myself. And we'll offer that exam to everyone who needs it. And we'll be able to give them an immediate response as to whether or not it's suspicious or normal. Or, and then many men come with bladder and prostate problems, and they get to ask questions about that because we want the men to have as much help as they can. And that's what prompted Helen and the BVI Red Cross to move into testing for diabetes and hypertension, because those are the silent killers on this island.
Yes.
And those start early in our life, and it's all silent, and none of us know. And as you said, men don't like to go see the doctor. So we thought if we could bring them in, we better provide a better service than just a prostate evaluation. We need to focus in on the real killers, which would be hypertension and diabetes. So we're offering those as well, and expanding it to a test that actually tells you whether or not you've had an abnormal blood sugar for 3 months. It's called a hemoglobin A1C, and we'll be offering that to men who have abnormal sugars, blood sugars, at the time of the test.
Now, apart from automatically going to the doctor for these prescribed checkups, how can you tell something is wrong with your prostate? That there's some symptoms that happens that you could say, this is abnormal, I need to go have this checked. Because my understanding is that it's not in the initial stages, it's not a painful situation.
No.
So you don't bother thinking about it.
That's right.
But there are symptoms that you can pay attention to and will send up a red flag.
Yes, there are a few things out there that would signal prostate enlargement or blockage, which would be getting up at night to empty your bladder, or slowing of the urinary stream, perhaps going frequently or urgently, or not feeling empty. All of those things go along with warning signs. But that warning sign accompanies prostate enlargement more commonly than it does prostate cancer. And that's why prostate cancer is one of those silent killers. I had a man in my office just before I came down to the island who had a normal PSA for several years, and yet it had jumped up during the summer, and I rechecked it in the fall and it was high again, and I had to tell him after his biopsy that he had prostate cancer. He had no symptoms whatsoever. And yet he's got an aggressive prostate cancer, and he's going to have some sort of curative therapy. Now, in the United States, this counseling that happened to me with this man will happen 200,000 times this coming year. And 1 out of 36 of those men will die of their prostate cancer. It's not a harmless old man's disease. It is a killer. And the question is, who has the bad cancer and who has the sleepy, indolent, ineffective cancer that we don't really treat anymore?
Okay. So, abnormal urination in the night, getting up in the night to pee is a sign that you need to get checked.
Yes.
What
frequent urination,
blockage,
slowing, not feeling empty, bladder infections, all those sorts of things indicate that the man needs to come in and have a basic evaluation.
Okay. Now, how about treatments? What are the treatments that we have now? Any more cutting edge technology, any cutting edge treatments have been developed over the years?
Well, those men that have those voiding symptoms, the majority by far and away are treated with a simple pill, a medication that they take once a day that allows them to get rid of a bunch of those symptoms. Now, if you have prostate cancer, we have a number of therapies available. There's no one therapy that works a lot better than any other, but we've done freezing of the prostate, we've done heating of the prostate, which would be a form of placing seeds into the prostate to kill out the cancer. We have external beam, where the beam comes in and you aim it on the prostate. It's called IGRT or IMRT radiation. We have proton therapy. We have prostate removal. We have, even now we have focal therapy, which is where we would go in, and if the cancer's on the right side, you would treat only the right side by freezing it or by putting seeds in that one side. That would allow you to treat. Now, those are not very common, and you said cutting edge, that's one of the newer things. But now that we have MRI, we can sometimes see the cancer. Even though it's as small as a grape or smaller than a green pea, you can see the cancer on the MRI and then treat it with focal targeted therapy, which is a great thing for an older person who doesn't really want to have a big treatment of some sort.
Do we have any indication of success rates with the treatments, early detection or advanced stages?
Yes, we do.
How successful?
Yes,
treatments?
when I was in training, 80% of the men who presented with prostate cancer were incurable. We've now reduced that to 10%. And that's all because of these screenings and these prostate blood tests and examinations. So we have reduced the death rate from prostate cancer by 45%. And we're excited to say that 90% of men who are detected early will be alive and well at 5 years, 90%. So we have beaten down the odds dramatically since back in the 70s and 80s when we were just starting down this road. So our cure rate would be in the 90s, 85 to 90% if we detect it early. And the question is, how long is that cure rate? Well, we believe prostate cancer has to be studied and followed for 15 years because it is a slow growing problem. So we would hope to see an 85% cure rate.
Okay. And we've been hearing that men of African descent are more prone to prostate cancer than other ethnicities.
That's right. And we don't really understand that, except that in the U.S. in general, 1 out of 7 men will have prostate cancer. It may not be significant prostate cancer, but they'll eventually have prostate cancer in their life. In the African American population, it's 1 in 4. And then if you have a relative, it's 1 in 3. And if you have 2 relatives, it's almost 3 out of 3 will have prostate cancer.
Okay. So I think the important thing that we learned from the conversation is that screening is
It's still important.
It's very important.
Yeah, and not every man has to be screened, but we would recommend that if they can, they should be periodically screened.
That's good, I think, good advice. For information, persons can contact the Red Cross?
Yes, our telephone number is 494-6349. That's 494-6349, or you can email info@bviredcross.org.
So that's what we're following at 8 o'clock. And so we want to go over the upcoming fair again. This is this Saturday at
Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday at the Red Cross
It's
building.
from 6 to 3.
From 6 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. You're going to have all the various kinds of screenings, blood sugar,
Cholesterol, blood pressure, and the hemoglobin A1C for those who have elevated blood sugars,
Okay,
and
of course,
BMIs.
and of course the prostate cancer test
Yes.
will be administered, and there's going to be refreshment served.
Yes.
Yeah, if you come in fasting, we'll do your blood tests and then we'll feed you.
Right, and so you shouldn't eat if you're going to do the glucose test
Right.
and the
Cholesterol.
The
cholesterol. You shouldn't eat, say, from 10 o'clock in the night till after you had the
Until
test.
after the test.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Cool. And of course, it's all free.
It's free.
It's
But
all free.
donations are welcome.
Okay.
And
think we need to
it's
say that.
free because we have had a lot of sponsors, and I would like to thank a few persons here.
Yes, go right
Yes,
ahead.
I would like to thank the Social Security Board, who continue to support. We thank Popeyes, who give us the tents and the chairs every year. We'd like to thank Tooltown and Naaman Chalwell, who will be helping us with the tents this year. We thank the insurance companies who've been assisting us, Nagico and Caribbean Insurance, Alfonso Warner. And we thank the Rotary Clubs and the Lions Club, the volunteers, and everyone who come out and assist us on that day. And there are many other persons behind the scenes who assist in some way or another. We would like to thank Sarah Smith of Crown Marketing and what's her name? Carol Smith as well for her assistance.
Great, great. Well, Director of the Red Cross, Helen Frett, and Dr. Charles McWilliams, neurologist, thank you for being on Spotlight.
Thank you.
Thank you
It's
for
been
having
very
us.
informative.
Thank you for having us.
Great, great. We're going to take another break for a word from our sponsors. When we come back, we're going to come back with teacher Arthur Selwood. We're going to be talking about the Emerging Fellow Awards, scholarships that young people, promising young people can take advantage of to have different educational experiences around the world. It's a very important scholarship. We need to know about it so we know how to apply, how to steer our children in that direction to be able to take advantage of this great opportunity. Keep it locked right here to Spotlight. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Spotlight is brought to you by Tortola Concrete Limited, the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, and CCT Global Communications.